Welcome to Mestia in the Svaneti region of Georgia. Over here, this is where my bus brought me from Kutaisi. We drove all through the mountains. The views are absolutely stunning. And just behind me there's another mountain range. And today it's my first full day, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this cable car that runs up here and do a little trek, not much, just a couple of hours, and get views of the mountains over on this side. First, let me show you the guest house. So this is my room. It's a pretty basic affair, but I've got my own room for the first time in Georgia, and yeah, everything works fine apart from the Wi-Fi doesn't work in the room. But you have to deal with things like that when you're up in the mountain ranges of Georgia. Little chill out area here, bathroom through there. It's not the most equipped kitchen I've ever experienced, but one thing that this place does have, I'll try and get out here without falling down and breaking my neck. Look at that. All these towers were originally defensive towers, and all the old medieval houses have these towers attached to them, including the guest house that I'm staying in, and we can actually go inside. Right, let's take a look upstairs. First floor. And it goes up again. Bloody hell, it goes up another floor as well. Second floor. One of the things to do in Mestia is ask at any one of the houses if they'll let you climb in to their tower. I don't need to do that because my guest house has its own. Well, that's the first Mestia tick over and done with. The plan, whilst I'm here, I'm actually spending a few days just in Mestia alone, but then I'm going to do a trek, hopefully, if the weather stays good, from here to a village called Ushgili, and it's a 4-day trek, and you stay at various little villages, little guest houses along the way. That all depends on the weather. The forecast has predicted nothing but thunderstorms for the next, like, literally 10 days. But as you can see, it looks okay so far. Right, let's go out and explore some of the city. The first thing I need to do before I do any kind of trekking today is get some breakfast and some coffee. It's a very unique place, although it does seem to have been kind of overrun a little bit by tourism. Every other building's a guest house. This is the main square in the town. Lots of restaurants around here. Well, this cafe city's not got the best of reviews, but somewhere around here there's supposed to be a coffee shop. Well, it has actually got very good reviews. And here it is, Urti Carver. I'm hoping they do some kind of food in there. Some interesting buildings here. Now I'm going to head to the cable car, which according to Google Maps is closed, but I can see it running. It looks like it's running to me, so I'm going to take a look. It's about a 10 minutes walk from here. On the way, there's this big church over here, which might be worth taking a look at. Like, this cow is just stood there in the middle of the road. He's not moving anywhere. Check that out, what a view. It's not bad, old Mestia. Well, I was told on Google Maps that this cable car only goes to the first station. No, that's not true. You just have to swap. And it's 20 there and back, apparently. So about £6, which is pretty good, to be honest. Alright, let's see what happens here then. I'm normally not very good with these things. Well, that works. Here we go then. Well, I'm glad this thing is working anyway. Means I can get a little bit of hiking done today, not a great deal. And get some amazing views, hopefully. It's not a bad way to spend a Sunday, is it? Bloody hell. Bit worrying, the whole thing stopped. Okay, why has that happened? Now the views will be better going back down because I can't see what's behind me. You can. I've just turned my head around and I can see the whole mountain range that surrounds this big hill. I've not been able to see that before because obviously when you're down in the village all you can see is this big hill, but bloody hell. Oh wow. My ears are starting to feel a bit weird now because we're so high up anyway. That's even before we take the cable cars up here. Right, I've got to get off now. Somehow. Oh, there we go. It slowed down, thankfully. Yeah, perfect. As far as cable cars go, that was pretty awesome. And the second part is here, which takes us right up there. So the views are going to be incredible up here. It looks like I'm going to get the whole cable car to myself again. There's very, very few people here, which is nice. The restaurant's not even open. I've heard the restaurant's not that great, to be honest. Now I'm just going to hold back a bit so that them two guys get in by themselves, so I get my own cable car. This one's a bit more modern. This thing was only actually built in 2021, so not many people will have gone on this. Right, I guess the best views would be from over here. As soon as we get to a certain height, the mountains are going to start to appear. In fact, you can see them now. Wow. When I was doing my research for Georgia, this part of Georgia just seemed another world away from lockdown in Sheffield, and I never actually really thought I'd actually get up here. And even when I was in Kutaisi, I nearly skipped this entire area. For some reason I thought it was just like really hard to get to. When I was in the hostel I was asking about this area and whether it was easy to get to and if it was worth doing, and a guy in the hostel said if you are in Georgia and you have the opportunity to come to this area and you don't, then you basically want shooting. And I can see why. I mean, just look at this. The higher you get, the more amazing it is. Wow. Oh, that's insane. Just look at this. We're just surrounded by incredible views. Well, as far as coffee shops with a view go, this one looks pretty unbeatable. Look at that. Well, I was going to do a 2-hour round hike at the top of here, but to be honest, I don't think the view's can get any better than this, and so I've decided to sit here and enjoy a beer with these incredible views. Just look at it, it's just stunning. Oh, Georgia, bloody hell, you spoil me. How's that for a beer with a view? Well, one last look at the mountains before I head back down. It's actually quite difficult to breathe up here. I think we're about 2,500 metres above sea level. The village that I'm trekking to, Ushgili, is the highest occupied place in Europe. So that's going to be very much the same. There you go. And we're off. And there's the town of Mestia just below us. As you can see, the lower you get, the mountains disappear from view. Once you're in the town, you can't actually see these mountains on top. I definitely recommend the cable cars. It is my first day in Mestia, so it may be that there are many other points that I will come across where the views are, you know, just as spectacular. It will take some beating, to be honest. What a beautiful first day. This is the Svaneti Museum, and apparently this will give you all the information about the area, as well as lots of historical artifacts, and apparently it's in English as well. So let's go and have a look. Let's see if we can learn something about this incredible region. It's quite an amusing story about the construction of this museum, because it took so long to complete that by the time they'd finished it, it had already started deteriorating. The pulpit from the 11th century. These are actually historical documents, which is text which has been carved onto wood. And these compile all the rules and principles that were accepted in other regions of Georgia. This cauldron here was used for cooking sacrificed animals. It would belong to the community or a church, and on feast days this was carried into the village square or to the churchyard, and they would insert poles through it to lift it and place it on the fire. And this one cauldron was designed for either 2 oxen or 3 cows. That's some stew. This instrument here is a changai, and it's an instrument that has only survived in Svaneti. It's not played anywhere else. There's a view from the museum. It's not bad, is it? The next thing on my agenda for my day exploring Mestia is, believe it or not, a cinema. Around here, just to the left, is a cinema that only shows one film, and it shows it 4 times a day. The film is called Didi, and it was actually filmed in this region, and it's the only film ever to be filmed in the Svaneti language. Now this film has won like 20 awards. It's supposed to be really good. It is shown with English subtitles. It starts in about 10 minutes. There's a bar there as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And this is the local cinema, D-Day, the local movie. You can see all the awards that it's won. Karlovy Vary Film Festival, Cannes Film Festival. I think somewhere I saw a poster that said it won 20 and was nominated for 8 others. The Hollywood Reporter says it's feminism meets fatalism in this starkly beautiful Georgian melodrama. And as you can see here, every day, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I'm going for the 5 one. Local movie D-Day, the only movie in the Svan language. And most importantly, they sell cold beer. So let's go in and buy a ticket. It's really cool place. Well, I have my beer. The movie starts in 2 minutes and there's already a few people gone down actually. A friend of mine who I met in Kutaisi came to see it last night. He was the only person here. But there's a few more people coming down as well, so I better get my seat. Hey, thank you. So let's see what the only cinema in Mestia looks like. Well, it's not often you see a movie in the location where it was filmed, and it's a nice little cinema, very cosy. Now it's time for some Georgian food. Well, I seem to have ordered the exact same thing as what I had yesterday. It didn't look like that on the menu. I've got a little friend down here who's trying to scrounge a bit of meat, and I've gone for the harcho soup, which, look at bloody meat in that. Bloody hell. That's my second full day in Mestia. I've come into the main square. There seems to be some kind of market going on, bizarrely selling cookers. And bikes and all kinds of crazy things that you don't normally see in the market. Got some live music over here. For some reason, I booked 4 nights in Mestia before I go off on the hike across to Ushgili. I'm not exactly sure why I booked 4 nights. Mestia is very small. I mean, it's the biggest kind of village in the region, but you can easily just spend a day here. There is a day hike from here, which I was considering doing today, to some lakes, but the review said that it's a hard hike. And the lakes themselves aren't that impressive, but the surroundings are. And it was something like a 20 kilometres hike, and I didn't fancy doing it, having a 60 kilometre hike ahead of me. So I'm just going to spend a couple of days in Mestia, just chilling out really. Now I'm just walking on one of the back streets just to see what Mestia is like away from the main road. The actual first part of the hike takes you to the cross that overlooks the town, and I've not seen it yet, but it's there. So the first part of the hike is climbing that bloody thing. I think this is my hostel. This is the tower that I climbed up. This is the back side of it, because I remember the views from here. Most of the old houses in Mestia are now actually guest houses. The other night I was on the balcony at the front of the hostel, and it was pitch black apart from the street. When you looked up you couldn't see the hills or anything, and then every now and again you get a flash of lightning, and so the hills just appeared in front of you just for a split second. It was amazing. I think I was wrong. I think this is my guest house. You can see the roof that you have to climb out onto to get into the tower. Yeah, that's definitely my guest house. There's still plenty of building going on in Mestia. All of these will probably be hotels.
solange sich das aushielt. Weil den Turm konnte kein Mensch.
I'm walking right up this steep hill to get to a place that I don't even know if it's open. It's a place called Granny's Bar, which as soon as I saw it I thought that's a fantastic name for a pub. And it looks really cool inside. It's actually the only bar in the world that's built into one of these towers. Now, considering that these towers only exist here, the only one in the world is a bit of a far-fetched statement. According to Google Maps, it opened at 5 o'clock today, but the last review it received was over a year ago. So I'm not really expecting it to be open, to be honest. The directions to Granny Bar has brought me into a field, and there's no signs anywhere. Not that that means anything here. I don't know if it could be that place over there, but I think I can get to it on the path underneath. That's if it is there. Whew. Now that was a steep climb, and to think if I'd have done the walk to the lakes today, I would have had to climb up here. I'm sure there's a trail somewhere. That's pretty impossible, but that's the cross. And instead I'd had the laziest of all days. Check out the views. The Granny Bar doesn't seem to exist anymore, so I'm just having a bit of an explore in this area before heading back down to the main street and grabbing some food, maybe even a couple of cheeky beers. Not bad views. Where I'm staying you can barely see these because the road bends round, so I can just about see this corner of them. Incredible. I was hoping to grab a beer in this place, the old house just behind me, but I've only got 100 no, and a beer 6, and yeah, so they didn't have change, so I asked if they took card, and they don't take card either. So what I need to start doing is getting loads and loads of change before I go on my hike, because this is going to happen a lot. I can imagine, certainly in the hostels, them saying they have no change, and the only way I can stay there is by paying them more. So I don't want that to happen, because apparently they really overcharge with the breakfasts and things anyway, so it's going to be an expensive hike. Okay, this is 81% proof, and yeah, one guy just took a sip and he's really not feeling it. I reckon we should down it. I reckon, right, you're going to have to go through that every time you take a little sip. That's it, that's you done? Oh shit, is it that bad? I'm temporarily leaving Mestia because I now head off on a trek to a small village called Ushgili, which is 60 kilometers away. Now it's going to take me 4 days to get there, and each night I'm going to stay in a different village, so I guess each vlog's going to be each day of the trek. This vlog is going to end here, so if you want to continue watching me as I trek across the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, then you need to watch the other vlog. So this is where this one ends.